love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running.
Hello and welcome. Another edition of Up and In, where I kind of make some suggestions and give my thoughts to questions that parents or student athletes submit throughout the course of the week, that are sent in to either my Twitter account, Facebook account, YouTube channel, etc. And tonight's question comes from Eric in Minnesota. And I thought it was a really good question, one that would be best served by making a small video, a short video. And so the question that Eric is asking is at what point should a student athlete begin to compile their list for potential college selections and landing spots with regard to both academics and athletics? First, I want to say thank you to Eric, super follower on Twitter. Thank you, Eric. And I'm really convinced that this process should begin at the completion of your child's sophomore year, going into the summer of their rising junior fall. And a lot of that has to do with the maturity and kind of the sense of who the student athlete is and where they want to go, pertaining to geographics, logistics, and then obviously maybe a sense of an academic area of study or interest that they may have. Pretty impossible to formulate a good idea, during that freshman and sophomore years of high school. And I always go back to John McCormick at Florida Atlantic University when he uses the kind of like the metaphor of a driver's license time period in a student athlete's life, meaning at that point, the student athlete takes the wheel. No longer are they at the mercy of waiting for a sibling or mom or dad relative to give them a ride anywhere. They're kind of in control of where they go, when, and more importantly, why. And so if we kind of use that time parameter of 16 and a half years old when a student can, get their driver's license, it's about at that time that we want to begin to compile a list pertaining to potential college fits. So some of the key factors that I think really need to kind of be the foundation of these types of choices. One would be obviously the size of a campus. Is a student athlete looking for a smaller campus that they can be a significant part of? Are they comfortable being in a larger campus environment that may offer different cultures and social issue kind of dynamics? Do they want a major metropolitan city that's close by an airport or a train station? Are they more interested in a rural, suburban type of campus? The baseball is the same at every college and university. And by that, I mean the baseballs are the same, the bats, the equipment, the dimensions of the base paths, the pitching mound, etc. So baseball is pretty much going to be universally the same. The only differences are kind of the culture and the environment around the team. And that's usually a good indication as to the type of college or university. So, for instance, the vast majority of college students that play sports at the collegiate level tend to be NCAA Division III and even NAIA. And you can go to College Baseball Insights, a great app that I work with. There, you can find them on Twitter, College Baseball Insights. And it kind of gives you kind of an understanding of the campus as a whole, the retention rate, the graduation rates, things that kind of give you an idea as to, what the college and university is providing to the students themselves directly. And going back to that kind of that map, so to speak, with regard to, the Division III landscape. And I, as a former coach within that division, I can tell you it's a much stronger academic component versus athletics, meaning the vast majority of high school student athletes are going to matriculate generally within a 100-mile radius of their home or within a region in their home. For instance, we live in the Boston area, greater Boston area. So the New England, New York kind of corridor is where most of the students leave for high school and kind of look towards. But in your neck of the woods, for instance, in Minnesota, that's obviously, in the Midwest area. So you may be looking into Michigan, you may be looking into maybe Ohio, possibly Pennsylvania, into that Great Lakes kind of area. But the biggest thing is to let a student find themselves in their foundation as an individual before you rush to do anything with regard to athletics. It's important for a student to kind of find their sweet spot, their energy, where they learn particularly well, where they feel comfortable and they thrive, and they feel that the college campus is going to add and nurture with regard to both the academic and the athletic component. And so I hope that answers your question. For the most part, I always try to tell parents and student athletes, this is an individual decision. Take the baseball out and look at this decision as a 40-year decision. Meaning, if you were to be injured, if your son or daughter were to be injured and they could no longer participate in a sport or be an athlete at that particular college or university, how would that school fit them in all other aspects of their life? And that's really how the college experience should kind of be vetted, and kind of, when you're taking a deeper dive into these schools, is about the strength over the next 40 to 50 years of your child or your student athlete's life away from the athletic competition and baseball specifically. So if you have questions similar to this that Eric from Minnesota submitted today, please feel free, submit them, because I take the time throughout the week, make these videos, make sure I put them up on YouTube for other parents to find their way to, in hopes of helping families across the country. Also, if you have questions or comments, you can leave them below in the section where you want to make a comment, you want to ask a question. Feel free to do so. Encourage you to hit the subscription button, obviously. Like the video. That's really important. We're getting a lot of people that find their ways to the videos, but they're not subscribing and or liking. So we'd like to kind of encourage you to do that. It helps us grow the channel. It can be found on Twitter at BaseballLifer11. Same with TikTok. Over at Instagram, it's BaseballLifer. And then obviously Facebook, where we have Baseball Process and Baseball Lifer as well. Thank you again, and look forward to answering more of your questions on an ongoing basis. Thank you.